every single free dollar I can raise, I should convert to Bitcoin, because there's out of 100 possibilities, there's 99 paths where you fail and Bitcoin succeeds. And there's one path where you fail, where you succeed and Bitcoin succeeds. And, some people don't think Bitcoin is going to succeed, but they're not with us, right? You don't think Bitcoin is going to succeed, go do something else, whatever with your life, but don't try to create a Bitcoin business. I think that every company on earth is sitting on a balance sheet that's normally cash and credit. So with a few exceptions, everybody's holding some kind of US dollar or euro or the local fiat currency. And if they want an alternative to that, they're holding low risk debt, sovereign debt. And if they're really risky, they would be holding some other debt. But a lot of times it's sovereign debt. And so that's cash and credit. And the cash and credit are crumbling, right? They've always been crumbling, but now they're crumbling at a faster rate. In good times, they're crumbling at 7% a year. And in bad times, they're crumbling at 10 or 15 or 20% a year. And in horrific times, like if you're in Venezuela, Argentina, Lebanon, it's crumbling at 60 to 80% a year, and that's hyperinflation. So a year ago, we were staring at a balance sheet with $500 million of cash and credit, and it looked like it was almost certainly going to crumble at a rate of 15% a year for 4 years. And that drove us to discover Bitcoin. And then a light bulb went off, and I realized that we could swap out the entire amount for something better. And there are a lot of ways to view Bitcoin, right? You can view Bitcoin as digital property, digital money, or digital energy, and if you characterize it as digital property, it's like I bought a $500 billion block of property in cyberspace. And if you characterize it as digital money, I basically bought $500 million worth of a currency that nobody can print any more of. And if you characterize this digital energy, what we did is took analog energy and we digitized it. Let's contrast this. A year ago, we were a $500 million business growing 0% a year with $500 million in a balance sheet and crumbling cash and credit. That's what we were a year ago. And the company was valued at about $1 billion. Maybe 1 times revenue for the enterprise software business, and then the cash and credit was worth 1. That's where we were a year ago. Today, we're a $500 million software business growing about 10% a year. So we got some growth out of it. We got more notoriety, better for employee morale, better for product awareness. So we got a bit of a boost. And we're a $5 billion property business, Bitcoin business, growing 100% a year or more. So we've got a high growth business, digital energy or digital property, and we've got a low growth business, enterprise software, and they're both linked and they both benefit from each other in different ways. So why'd we do it? Well, first we did it defensively. And then we were opportunistic, right? Stage 1 is defensive. I don't want to lose my money. Stage 2 is opportunistic. I did it because I could. Stage 3 is strategic. This is a pretty good idea to buy up all of Cyber Manhattan before everybody else moves here. And if Bitcoin is appreciating 100% a year, and if I can borrow money at 5% or 1% or 6%, then my arbitrage is going to be 100%. 95%, whatever the number is, right? We can debate. I think Bitcoin went up 130% on average for a decade, and it's up faster this year. So you plug in the number you think it'll be, but let's say we think it's going to go up 110% for the near future. If I can borrow money at 5%, then I'm going to get 105% arbitrage. Why wouldn't you?
So there is Michael Saylor explaining why companies are sitting on a crumbling balance sheet of cash and credit, and it's inevitable they come for Bitcoin. The best thing about Bitcoin, you don't need to be an institutional investor to do the same. You can buy as little or as much Bitcoin as you want and convert your own depreciating asset into an appreciating asset. Food for thought. Now, later on in the interview, Saylor explained why he is more bullish than ever on Bitcoin.
I've just become more convicted every single week, every single month that's gone by. There's not a single thing that's happened the past 13 months that I thought caused me to think that the future was riskier or less certain. I mean, even the China exodus, right, which was probably the most brutal event that we've seen, it was a good thing for the network, and it removed the biggest existential threats. Is Bitcoin going to be hijacked by the Chinese government? What about a 51% attack? How anti-fragile is the network? Is Bitcoin American or Chinese technology? After the China exodus, it became clear that Bitcoin is US technology. This is good for the Western world. This is part of the Western technology stack. This is Google and Apple and Amazon and Facebook and Bitcoin, right? So the worst thing that happened was the best thing that happened. Everything else has been a good thing to happen. It's like, you're watching every shoe drop. Companies adopting, banks adopting, politicians supporting, right? The negative FUD in the media is just people noticing that Bitcoin is the most disruptive technology of the decade. And even the negative publicity is positive publicity. It's all just marketing Bitcoin. It's like, if these people hate on it so much, why? It must be really good that they're so afraid of it. And how you have a shock wave? A shock wave forms when you move faster than the air. If I move through the air faster than the air can flow around me, then I create a shock wave. I'm disrupting laminar flow, and I'm getting turbulence because I'm going too fast. Okay? Bitcoin is creating turbulence because it's going too fast. Right? When you see some uninformed politician that critiques it, it's because they were asked to have an opinion and they had 10 minutes to study it, and so they give an uninformed opinion. When some billionaire investor says they like gold better, it's because they're asked to have an opinion and they spent 30 years studying gold, and they haven't spent 30 hours or 300 hours or 1,000 hours studying Bitcoin. They had 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 15 minutes. A lot of people, when these editorials are written in the Journal and the New York Times, I never seen anybody ever say, oh, I spent 1,000 hours studying Bitcoin. Let me break down my problems with it. I never seen anybody say, I spent 100 hours studying it. Let me tell you the 13 problems I have. There are no informed critiques. I have yet to see them. There are uninformed critiques. And what is that? That's the same as your fighter jet slamming into a wall of air faster than the speed of sound, and you get a shock wave, and you get turbulence, and you get heat, and you get sound and fury. And is that a bad thing? Just means we're moving fast, right? We're moving very fast, and we're getting noticed, and everyone has to notice it. Right. And when you're asking the spokesperson for the Kremlin, for Putin, whether or not Russia is going to adopt Bitcoin as the national currency, that's not, when they say not yet or no, that's not a negative signal. That's a positive signal. Nobody asked Putin whether they're going to adopt Apple stock or gold or silver or the giant stone coin of the Yap people as currency in Russia, right? There's only one question they're asking them. And they're asking them the question because it's on the table, and that's indicative of the success of Bitcoin. So, to summarize, I am more bullish than ever.
So, Michael Saylor with higher conviction than he has ever had on Bitcoin. I think he's correct and his strategy is paying off, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now, turning to some on-chain Bitcoin data to see where the price is likely to go in the short term, we can see Saylor isn't the only investor who's more bullish than ever. Out from on-chain analyst Lex Moskovsky, Bitcoin whales, which is classified as Bitcoin addresses which hold from 100 to 1000 BTC, have begun buying Bitcoin once again, recently hitting an all-time high. Addresses that hold this amount of Bitcoin is generally extremely high net worth individuals or institutions, or what some people would refer to as smart money. Take that as you will. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed today's video and that provided you with some value. I'll see you all in the next video, and as always, have a great day.